Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link trait and Liberty herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Liberty herbicide are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
During our Farm Basics time today, we're going to talk about perhaps the most important issue that farmers and non-farmers need to be communicating about, and that is pesticide safety. I want to start real quick. I was just talking to a neighbor of ours pretty recently here, and he was concerned because, well, I don't know, there are some animals that have died in my yard and everything, and could it be the pesticides that you guys are using out in your field? And I said, look, anything is certainly possible, but I can tell you right now, there's nothing harmful at all that we're using on our fields. You can look at the specific safety on each one of these things. There's absolutely no possible way any of the products we would have used on that field would have killed any animal that would have been in your yard. And he said, oh, well, okay, I can understand that, but then how about like the pheasants? We're losing pheasants around here. Could they be eating the seed and that's killing them? And I said, no, in fact, they don't die from the seed treatment that's on the seed. And that's why farmers have to use a natural product called Avapel that they put on the seed specifically.
Tastes bad.
Right, so it keeps the birds away. And I mean, it's all these things where it's just a bunch of misconceptions, and right away people start assuming, well, I don't know, I had some dead animals. It must be from the pesticide.
Well, you know what? It comes back to what you don't know. And if we knew what the cause was, we'd fix the cause, right? But, you know, here is a case where, oh, we don't know what's going on with these animals, so I guess I'm going to blame the unknown. And one thing that people do know is farmers are using something to kill weeds and kill bugs out in their fields. They don't know what it is. And that's where our role as farmers comes in communicating with others what we're doing, how we're doing them. There are many opportunities for you to do just that.
Oh, I should finish up on this story too. So, I mean, all we're talking about is a couple of dead cats here. And I'm like, well, most likely they got into somebody's poison that they put around their house to kill mice or something like that. We've had the same thing happen in our own operation. That's why we have cats and don't have the poison to kill the mice. We have the cats around. But anyway, those kind of things can very well happen. But the point is, we're using safe products now on our farm. And I just told him, look, if it was 30 years ago and we had some more harmful pesticides like we did back then, you know, that's possible. But there's nothing that almost anybody around here is using on the farm that could possibly hurt an animal. We just can't. We're using safe products today, safe seed treatments. It's a fun time in agriculture when we can talk about a lot of natural products. And the thing that I brought up to this guy was, you know, one of the products that we spray a lot on the field right next to you comes from a tree. It's called Callisto. Well, it came from the callistemon tree. It was discovered when the researcher thought, you know, there are never any broadleaf weeds below this particular tree. There's got to be something in that tree. And sure enough, they isolated a compound in that tree. That's awesome. We love those kind of things. And the government also encourages all the big companies to produce those types of natural products.
Well, when you see new pesticides coming out, there aren't nearly as many as there used to be. There's very few new families that come into play because many of the newest ones that we've got are relatively safe. Like Brian talked about Callisto and that family of chemistry was really the last brand new chemistry we had for weed control. And when we look at insect control, the pyrethroid family, that was developed from the poison found in a chrysanthemum flower. So the way the chrysanthemum flower just naturally defended itself from insect pests, that's what farmers are using in crops across the country.
Yeah, but when you say poison, it's not poisonous to everybody or everything. It's just poisonous to a few certain insects. So that's the great thing. Well, even like biotechnology with BT corn now, they've isolated a natural protein that's in the corn that it will kill certain bugs that will literally rot their stomach out, but yet humans and livestock can digest it just fine. It's a protein. It's no big deal. So all those types of things, it's really exciting stuff. Hey, one other thing that I was going to bring up real quick, you know, I think a lot of the problems get caused because it's the media and going for some big splash story. So when Dow was trying to launch their Enlist trait, so a farmer could spray 2,4-D-amine right over the top of his crop, there were a lot of people in the media saying, oh, Agent Orange is going to be labeled. Come on, it's not Agent Orange. And yes, 2,4-D-amine was a component of Agent Orange, but it's very safe. It takes 5 times more 2,4-D-amine to kill you than it does caffeine, okay? But people are drinking caffeine every day and we don't even think anything of it. It's no big deal. Agent Orange was only a problem because it had a contaminant in it. It had dioxin. That's not in 2,4-D-amine. I mean, come on. So there are all these things. It's just people blatantly throwing misinformation out there to scare the general public. And what we're trying to tell you is, hey, on the farm, I literally live on our farm. We drank well water about our whole lives. We're not gonna pollute our land or our water. That'd be absolutely ridiculous.
So when we talk about pesticide safety, this is something very important to us and to all farmers. We want to use safe products. We don't want our kids around anything that's dangerous. And so farmers are being very cautious about which products they're using. And really, the United States is very cautious about which products they even label. Anything harmful, they've gotten rid of. And really, for the most part, a generation ago, they got rid of most of the harmful things that were out there. So what we're using on our farm is safer than the gasoline you're putting in your car and most of the household cleaners that are under your sink.
So our advice for you and our ask is, please just get good information, get the facts. And once you get the facts, you'll see that on the farm today, these things that we call pesticides, many are actually just natural products. They're very safe. They're commonly used around. They're never going to hurt anybody. There's nothing wrong. So again, please just get the facts. And if you ever have questions, just send them in to us at Ag PhD or ask a farmer instead of asking somebody in the media who doesn't actually know.
One other thing you may ask a farmer about is how to control our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?